Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are talking about dating today. My last video where I was like an emotional wreck, let's just be honest, told you I was gonna do a dating story on my experience with Bumble. It was an experience and a half, and I only did it one time because it was that bad. Let's just say he was not who he presented himself on the app to be, and you're probably like, well, no, duh, who does? But I heard so many stories where people were like, I got married to the person I met on Tinder and Bumble. I was like, okay, if they can do that, then I can too. I'm not saying I need to get married anytime soon, but I was like, all right, let's give this a try. So let's just get right into it. First things first, I was so opposed of going on Bumble. I was so opposed of like using apps. I don't know why. Of course, I like went straight to the stigma of dating apps, and I had just gotten out of a 2-year relationship, so I was like, yes, I want to meet people, but at the same time I was like, I don't want to go on apps. I don't want to go and meet people, and the guys want one thing. I mean, we all know what, you know. So all my friends were just like, no, you got to try it. Even my guy friends were like, no, Annie, you got to put yourself out there. This is a great way. I know people have gotten married off this. And I was like, well, one, slow your roll. I'm not going down that path right now. But I finally got convinced and talked into it. And I was like, okay, what do I have to lose? Nothing. I'm in a bigger city now, and there has to be more options out there. So I downloaded the app. Oh my God, y'all. It was like on a Saturday night when I was like, I'm in my pajamas, probably looking my worst, but trying to post like my best photos, you know what I'm saying? I didn't understand like the whole swiping left, swiping right for who you liked and didn't like. So I think at first I was like ending up swiping the opposite direction of the people I liked. I was like actually throwing them in the trash. So that was that. And also luckily I didn't see anyone I knew on the app, but that would have been something. I just remember like I took it very seriously. I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna take it very seriously. I liked this one guy so much on it, but then he ended up like disappearing after a while, so that was weird. So watch out for that. But then I saw this other guy and I was like, oh my God, he has tattoos, he has like, who's muscular and super in shape, and I'm like, oh yes, I like this. And just like really different than anyone I've ever dated before. So I was like, all right, let's try this. So we started chatting, super sarcastic, really funny, like hit it off in the chat, which to me is like, just talking about this, like I want to like bust out laughing and cry at the same time. Because dating is a struggle, it is real, and it can be just like, kill me now. You know what I'm saying? Just kill me now. We talked for like a day, and then he was very forward. He was like, let's meet up. Let's like meet at this bar or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, I get off work at this time. I'll go home and change, and I'll meet up. And I didn't want it to be late. So we made it like 6 o'clock on a Friday, maybe like 6:37. And it was still light outside. And I just remember coming in, and he didn't really look like, I was like, is this the guy? Because he didn't really look like the photo I saw. So I was like, this is weird. But like kind of resembled it. Yeah. So he was at the bar and he'd already had like 3 shots because the shot glasses were right next to him. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be an experience and a half. So then we went and sat down. We had like a beer and we were talking. And I know this sounds like horrible of me, but I looked at him and I was like, he said online that he was 33. He did not look 33. Handsome, did not look 33. And I was like, I've got to ask you, are you really 33? And of course I did like my charming self, you know, like that way. And he was like, yeah, I'm 33. And I was like, okay, but okay. Like I just kind of left it there. After a while, after he, like I started realizing like he was a little drunk. And I barely drink. Like 1 drink sends me over the edge. I know, I'm a cheap date that way too. So I was just kind of like, okay, well, I'm not going to try to catch up because I don't even know where this is going, period. So we started talking. He was like digging at me the whole time. And so finally, after he just kind of like kept pushing my buttons, and I could tell that maybe it was just because he was drunk and uncomfortable. And so he was acting a certain way. But anyway, so he kept pushing my buttons, and I finally was like, look, dude, you are not 33, are you? And he was like, no, I'm 38. And I was like, 38, and I'm like, that's a 10-year age gap. Like, what? And then we started talking a little bit more, because by that time I was like, this date's already done. I might as well just enjoy the sarcasm and the bicker banter and then get the hell out of there. And then it comes, like, I find out that he was a dad, and not like that's a problem, but isn't that something that you should like lead with, at least when you're on a dating app? And I was like, oh, how old's your kid? And he was like 10. I'm like, oh my God. Like, it just kept getting like worse and worse and worse about the information that came out. And honestly, like, it was not a problem. He's a dad. He was 38. It was the fact that like he made himself sound like he had been single his whole life. He was 33 years old, young, looking for like someone fun and vibrant. And I was just like, you set yourself up on the first date to lie like that. I was not as brave. I almost kind of gave up. But another reason why I gave up was I met someone like 3 weeks later that I really liked. So thank God. That didn't last, but thank God, because I was like, I'm done with this. I can't. It almost traumatized me. Don't let those things traumatize you. Keep it moving, because there are really good people out there. I swear to you, I've heard so many stories about people like finding people on Bumble, even Tinder. But I have plenty of dating stories. I actually dated someone that I worked with for 2 years. So if you want to hear dating experience with somebody that you work with, I got your co-working dating story down. The pros, the cons, the good, the bad. 2 years right here. So if you want to see more of these like dating stories, thumbs up, because believe me, in the past year, I've piled quite a few. Wow, that doesn't make it sound good. That doesn't make me sound good right now, does it? Well, you guys know what I mean. All right, anyways, I love you so much, and I will see you next week.